So I went ahead and started putting together everything in the Number Sense RTI pack. I slipped the cover inside of the clear pocket, which is also included in the pack. When you open it up, I have the pencil case, and inside of the pencil case, I have everything that you'll need when you're doing the interventions with students, so you don't have to go searching for things. And that includes the baby sock from earlier, the counters, the different die, the dry erase marker, and a pen, and the pen is for me to do any kind of recording and tracking of the data. I have put all the pages in the page protectors so that for two reasons, it'll protect, actually three, the students can write on them when it's time to do the interventions. It'll protect the pages from just turn and wear and tear, and if I do take the pages to the copier, I could simply lay it on top of the copier and copy straight through the page protector. So this is the table of contents. I've gone through and I've divided each of the sections. There are four skills that you're going to be working on with interventions. There are at least 2 interventions per skill, including teaching adding with 10 frames, teaching kids how to make a 10, how to use that strategy of making a 10 when you add larger numbers, and number bonds. So I've taken those dividers and I've divided all 4 of the interventions, and inside of the pockets I put any extra materials and cards that you'll need to do the interventions. So basically, when it's time to sit down with a child and do a one-on-one intervention, you have no searching. You can just open to your pocket and grab your materials. So this is one of the strategies that is included in the 10-frame edition. And I have also included a write-up of 3 different interventions for the 10-frame edition, the front and the back. You can see this is the instant recognition of the cards, and you can just basically do them as flashcards, and it turns it into a game, and there's directions for that. There's also an intervention using this page right here. And to do that page, all you're going to need with your student is the materials in the front of the pocket. So you can go ahead and take out your counters, your die, and your dry erase pen, and you're ready to do the intervention with a child, and it's pretty simple. To do this, the child is going to roll a die. So I rolled a 1. He's going to roll it again to add on. So I rolled a 3, and then the child will write the matching number sentence that matches what they rolled. So it'd be 1 plus 3 equals 4. And really this is a great intervention because you can differentiate it any way you want. You can make it a simple task by using a 1 through 6 die. You can use a larger die that goes from 1 to 9. You could do it any way you wanted to. You could use the dot die, you could use it with the digits, depending on how difficult you want to make it for the child. And the child can finish filling up all the number sentences and practice it multiple times, and then you can erase it and do it with another child. Now after you do the intervention with a child, you're going to have to take your probes and you're going to have to assess them to see if you could show progress. So these here are examples of probes that I have for you. There's 6 probes because where I'm from you can take between 6 to 8 weeks of data, so I went with 6 weeks of data. So basically you do 1 probe after every intervention session. And in it the child will simply, for example, they would say, okay, there's 5 dots plus 1 dot equals 6. And they can either do it just like I did on the page protector. I wouldn't suggest doing that, I'm going to be honest with you. I would personally, if I was doing this with a child, I would have multiple copies of the probe in here so I could simply pull it out and have the kid do it, because I would want that information when I go to those RTI and tier meetings and I show parents progress or lack of progress. I can show exactly what the child is doing rather than trying to work off memory. So I personally would not do it on the page protector. It would be a hard copy with kids. But there are 6 examples of different probes. And then for each intervention, I've got this sheet right here, and it's your tracking sheet. You would write the child's name, grade, area of weakness, for example, number sense. The student's goal would be the child be able to increase skills in basic math and addition facts. And then the strategy would be using a 10 frame. So for each of these probes that are located over here, you could write the date. You could say probe 1. and then how many they got out of the 4 problems that are correct. Create a percentage, and then you can graph it. So when you go to these RTI meetings, you have everything you need for each child right on one sheet, and then you have your data with it. If it were me personally and I was doing this with the child, what I would do is I would have the cover, this is a cover sheet, I would have these already printed, 6 behind it, and have them all stapled together. So it would be this on the top, these 6 after that, so it would be a whole pack, so I could just flip through the pages and let the child work through it each week. I hope that makes sense. There's also other strategies like making 10, and here's another example of a game. There is using that for making 10 addition when you're doing larger numbers. For example, knowing that 8 plus 7 is the same as 10 plus 5, and being able to switch it over. And I also, for that activity, there's a game that they can use with a double 10 frame, and all you'll need for that is the counters and the cards, which are right here for the game, to play with that. So everything's all in one place. You also have some lots of activities for number bonds as well. Hopefully this will make your RTI data collection much easier. It's all in one place. You could just basically have it all ready for the child, turn to the page, and do the intervention, so it can be fast and effective. Hope this helps. Thank you.